You have 20,000 conversations left in your life. There are 5 sentences you will not say in a single one of them. You already know one of them. You rehearsed it in the car, every word in order. Then you walked into the kitchen and said, "Yeah, no, it's fine." You've done that your whole life. There are 5. 5 sentences a man has to be able to say. And a man who can't say them doesn't have a self yet. He has a performance with good reviews. Tonight you get all 5, word for word, and exactly what each one costs. Not to win an argument, not to make anyone respect you, to cross something. And one of them contains the other 4. That one costs everything. We end there. Robert Moore spent his life studying initiation, how a boy became a man in every culture that ever managed it. In 2001, he set down what he found. The pattern never changed. An ordeal, a witness, and a word said out loud. The boy is told who he is. The man says it. Nobody ever put you through that. So you learned every sentence except these 5. Here's the situation. Someone asks. Your whole body says no. The chest tightens. Something in you steps back a half step. And then you hear your own voice say, "Yeah, sure, no problem. I can make that work." The sentence is one word. No. Not, "I'd love to," but not, "Let me check and circle back." Not the apology with the no buried in the middle of it like a pill and cheese. Just, no. Here's how you say it. Once, level. And then, this is the part that will kill you. You say nothing else. You do not explain. The silence after your no is the entire test. He will leave a gap for you to fill with a reason. And every reason you hand him turns your no into an opening bid. What it costs? About 4 seconds of being the difficult one. A face will change across the table. What it initiates? Your yes starts to mean something. A man whose no is unavailable has no yes. He has compliance with a smile on it. You cannot give what you are not free to withhold. That's one. You've been defending it for months, not because you still believe it. You stopped believing it a while ago, quietly, somewhere around week 3. You're defending it because you said it. I was wrong. 3 words, full stop. Not mistakes were made. Not I was wrong, but you also. The but deletes the sentence. Everything before it becomes throat clearing. Say it and stop talking. What it costs? The story. You've been carrying a story about a man who doesn't get things wrong, and it dies in your mouth while you say it. The position you keep defending isn't a belief anymore. It's a confession that you'd rather be consistent than honest. What it initiates? You stop defending a position and start holding a self. A man who can be wrong can be taught. Refuse it long enough, and you become a locked room with someone shouting inside. That's 2. The next one is worse. Someone asks you something and you don't know, and you watch yourself do it anyway. The answer assembles itself out of nothing. Confident, plausible, delivered in your steady voice. You have done this in front of your kids. I don't know. How you say it, without the recovery. No, but I'd guess. No, let me look into it as a face-saving exit. You let it sit there, unfinished, in front of another human being. What it costs? The authority you were faking. You have been trading real competence for the look of it, and the exchange rate is terrible. The certainty you perform isn't confidence. It's a confession that you don't believe you'd survive being seen not knowing. What it initiates? You can learn something in front of someone else, which is the only place anyone has ever learned anything. Jung had a name for the thing that answers, instead of you. The persona, the face you assembled to be kept. I've broken it down elsewhere. Tonight it's simpler than that. The persona cannot say these sentences. It isn't built to. That's how you know it isn't you talking. 3. Still not the 5th. He said the thing at the table. Everyone laughed, and you laughed a half beat after everyone else. You said, "All good, man." Then you drove home with it. That was 3 weeks ago, and it's still in the car with you. That hurt me. How you say it. To him, not about him. And without the anger. Anger is the socially acceptable translation, the version a man is allowed to say. Say the untranslated one. What it costs. The invulnerability. The room finds out you can be reached. The joke you made instead was not strength. It was a confession. You did not believe you could say the true thing and still be respected in that room. What it initiates. You stop paying the tax. Every hour you spend maintaining the appearance of a man who cannot be touched is an hour not spent being one. That's 4. Now, the one that contains them. Here's the moment. You're being asked to be smaller, quieter, easier, less. Never in those words, but you can feel the shape they want. And you've always complied, because somewhere early, you learned which shape gets you kept. This is who I am. How you say it. Not shouted, not defended. Stated once with no supporting evidence attached. You don't argue for it. The evidence is your life. And here's why it contains the other 4. They are it, said in pieces. Every no is, this is who I am about your time. Every, I was wrong, is one about your honesty. I don't know is one about your limits. That hurt me is one about your heart. Say the 4 for long enough, and the 5th stops being a speech. It becomes a description. Let me be clear about the price. This is the real one. Everyone who only loved the convenient version. Some of them will go. You'll find out later that was the point. What it initiates. The threshold. The boy is told who he is. The man says it out loud, and the room rearranges itself around a fact instead of a hope. 20,000 conversations left. Each of these takes 2 seconds. Here is the man on the other side. He isn't louder. He says no in 4 seconds and doesn't relitigate it at 2 in the morning. He's wrong out loud, and it costs him nothing, because he was never selling being right. He says the hard thing at the table while it's still warm, instead of driving it home. He gives up the fantasy that he could be entirely himself and still keep everyone. And he grieves that, honestly, once. You'll still rehearse in the car. The habit doesn't die. But one day, you'll walk into the kitchen and say the sentence you rehearsed, word for word, once, and then say nothing. That's one conversation out of 20,000. It's the only one that changes the rest. Pick the one you've never said, not the easy one, the one that just made your stomach drop. Say it this week, out loud, to the person it belongs to, and leave it below. The sentence, not the explanation. And if you're wondering why 5 true sentences feel like walking into a fire, it's because nobody ever tested you. Nobody put you through the thing that would have proved you could survive being seen. That's the next one to watch. I'll see you there.